Really excited to go deep with you guys on this topic, which I absolutely love. Okay, a few more people tuning in. Hi Vinola, hi Davina. Welcome you guys to our time together where we are going to unpack something pretty awesome, which is activating your heart connection to spiritual money. But first I really want to go into a story about how this moment happened with you guys and, the journey behind showing up today and being able to share this conversation with you. So about 11 years ago, I had a deep awakening moment in a silence retreat that I was in. And I basically said, you know what? Oh shit, if my life continues to look the way that it looks, I'm not going to end up where I'm headed. Okay, I'm going to end up where I'm headed. I'm not going to end up where I intend to be. And I knew in that moment that the choices that I had made were really based on fear. They were based on basically doing what I was told to do and making sure that my life looked picture perfect on the outside, which is, go to university, get a job. I was in finance at the time. That was my background. And I was really living this $1 million lifestyle, but everything was full on the outside and deeply, deeply empty on the inside. And I realized that the choices that I were making weren't really authentic. They weren't really coming from the place of my own voice, my own understanding of life, my own alignment to my own integrity. And I basically, in 6 weeks' time from that moment, quit the job that I currently had. I bought a one-way ticket and I left the relationship that I was in. So I was married at the time. Some of you know me from that period of time in my life, a few of you that are tuning in from on the talk today. And I basically went on a deep dive and deep discovery as to what do I want my life to look like? And what would happen if I started to basically live my life from the inside out? What kind of questions did I have about, how to live my life? What was I going to do with my gifts? How was I going to contribute in the world today? And there has been definitely a journey behind that. And I've arrived here today with you guys because I've helped, hundreds and thousands of people now to really discover their authentic alignment with their gifts and how to show up in service on the planet, how to feel purposeful in their life, how to heal their bodies, heal their relationships with their business. Because guys, there's a lot of things in business that happen that we don't really look at, and we just subscribe to like, okay, we're supposed to kind of make money and we're supposed to, have a job and we're supposed to, create a business. But what happens when we actually look at ourselves and actually ask ourselves, are we in full alignment and full integrity with the way that we're showing up in our life? So I'm going to invite you guys, this is an energetic exchange, okay? So I'm going to invite you to pop questions into the chat box. Give me a yes when something kind of, wakes you up from the inside. Let me know if you've got goosebumps. Let me know if your heart is like pounding even faster because you're like, oh my God, this is a question that I've been wanting to answer. Let me know what's going on with you because that's how the energy flows. That's how we're going to keep it alive in the conversation today. And I'm definitely going to ask Kieran to make sure we look at those comments and answer any questions around this. So as we dive into this topic, we're going to be talking about 3 words that generally aren't put in the same sentence, which is spiritual, money, and heart. So what most people do is they go, okay, I've got this great spiritual side to you, right? You've got this great spiritual side to you. You've probably nurtured it. Everyone on the call today is definitely somebody who's soul-centered, somebody who's, asked deep questions, has gone into some kind of immersion with themselves, probably has a spiritual practice. And you have this basket of your spiritual life. And then you have this other basket in your life, which is how you make money, how you relate to money, how you show up in the world with regards to money. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a business owner or you have to be employed, but everybody has a relationship with money. Everybody at some level has a relationship with money. And they're usually in two different baskets. And the interesting thing is that when you put them in two different baskets, what you're saying is that money is not spiritual. What you're saying is that I can only be spiritually and soul-centered in this area of my life, but when it comes to money, I've got to now continue to subscribe to, making it and working for it and hustling for it and, doing the things that I need to do out of this energy of not knowing, out of this energy of desperation, out of this energy of like, well, I've just got to pay the bills, or this energy of like, well, this is the target that I've got to hit. And there's all these pressures that come in when you're considering your relationship with money. But here's the thing. Today we're going to be talking about what happens if you actually put those things in the same basket. What would happen if money was actually spiritual? Because money is just energy, guys. It's a vibration, okay? It is actually simply made up of cotton. And that's at a physics level, okay? So money is made up of cotton. It's actually just an energy. And it's everything that you think, feel, and act around it that shapes your relationship to money. And you have a personal relationship to money, okay? The way that you act around money is your relationship to money. And here's the thing that I first want you to notice and I want you to play with today is I want you to think about money. I want you to imagine money in your life. And you have something called a money story. You have certain thoughts when you imagine money. You have certain feelings around money. And you have certain beliefs around how it should be spent or how it should be received. And this creates what's called your personal reality with money. And here's the interesting thing. The first thing I want you to notice is that when you kind of get intimate with your relationship with money, you can ask yourself, does it feel expansive? Like, does it feel like, oh my gosh, like I just love money? Because here's the thing, guys. Everyone talks about the law of attraction. You only attract into your life what you truly love. You resent, repel, reject, okay? What you resent, what you hate, what you don't have an intimate relationship with. You're going to move that out of your space. So here's the thing with money. How deeply intimate have you gotten with money? How deeply creative have you gone and asked yourself, well, how do I feel about money? Is it something that I'm in power with? Do I really set the terms of the relationship? Am I really in this place of expansion, in this place of like, I actually believe that, money comes to me easily? Or do you believe that you have to work for it? Do you believe that you have to trade for it? Do you believe that you have to really go out there and sell yourself at some level for it, okay? And here are the things that happen, okay? When you haven't really looked at money, you're gonna hustle for it, which means that you take every deal that comes onto the table. It means that you don't question the terms and the relationship. You haven't gone in and said, you know what, I'm gonna say no to money when it shows up to me in my life like this, and I'm gonna say yes when it shows up like this because I'm setting the terms around the relationship with money. Or have you just gone, okay, well, the whole world's in contraction right now. The whole world's spinning into a space of like, what's gonna happen? What's the future like? There's all this fear frequency, and you've just gone, okay, I'm gonna contract down now. I'm going to actually, only do what I need to do, and just so that I can pay the bills, just so that I can keep afloat, because that's a fear frequency. That's a survival frequency. And spirituality is all about expansion. It's all about, reveling in joy. It's all about being authentic. It's all about asking those deep questions and saying, you know what? If I'm really tuned into my heart, and if I'm really in the space of expansion, how can I offer myself to life? How am I going to be the answer? Okay, how am I going to participate in the new planet and the new earth that is currently taking shape? Because guys, we're in a time right now where everything is collapsing, where old systems no longer work, where things are going to be taken off the table, where everything that you thought was keeping you secure, even your physical body, there's a question around that right now, okay? And what's going to come up, if you haven't really done the deep inner work, is fear. What's going to come up is scarcity, okay? What's going to come up is desperation. And this happens at the highest levels in business, guys. I've had the opportunity to be able to mentor and work with people who, you know, have hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? And the question becomes, it's always about, are you in contraction or are you in expansion? Okay, because you can't be in both. You are either in one or the other. And when you tune into your money story, the question is right now, with what's going on the planet, where are you? Are you in expansion? Are you in that place where you're saying, you know what, I'm a leader. I get to choose to participate and play my role at a soul level and ask the question as to where is my gift and answer to what's being created on the planet today? Where do I need to recalibrate, okay, what I have been thinking, feeling, and doing around creating my life and my abundance and my money? And where do I get to tune into listening, okay? Because the first big limit with money, right, guys, is that people don't love it. They put spirituality in one box and they put money in another box, and they haven't truly looked at integrating all aspects of their life because we aren't compartmentalized people, okay? We're this holistic, empowered, okay, being. And we show up in every area of our life with the same tonality and the same frequency. So if you're in expansion with money, you're going to be in expansion in all areas of your life, because abundance is your nature. The ability for you to feel abundance and to feel that grace in your life, that you truly are a part of nature. You're not separate from nature. You're not, the divine hasn't taken the human race and plucked it out of the natural flow of life and gone, okay, you just got to figure it out for yourself. No, there's something called grace. There's something called divinity. There's something, that you feel that you've tapped into through your practice, through your inner dive, through your immersion, through who you are. You feel it. You've expanded into it in different areas of your life. But the thing is, it's not consistent when it comes to money. You don't continue that expansion. You don't continue that expression of that divine self, of that part of you that is tuned into grace and goes, you know what? I can actually tune my money story into that same place and start to show up differently in my life. So give me a yes, okay? There's a chat here. And I want to know if you guys are feeling this. I want to know if this is like, yes, I get this, like I've totally put this in 2 different baskets and I haven't looked at it. I want to know, yes, if you have looked at it. I want to know, no, if you haven't looked at it, okay? Because that's how we can go deeper and dive into different aspects of all of this. So do you love money? Like, who has a money ritual? Yes, yes, yes. I'm getting Coco's going, yes. Okay, Kieran's like, yes. Minu's like, yes, I get this. Maya's like, totally. All right, good. Okay, I'm feeling you guys. You're getting this. Awesome. Amazing. So here's the thing. We are going to, okay, I have an affirmation I say every day, Monica says. Awesome. Amazing. Okay, so excellent. So you guys have looked at this in your life, which is awesome. Ravina's like, yes, I totally get it. Here's the question. We're going through a huge clearing on the planet, guys, for anything new to happen in your life at a personal level, for anything new to happen at a collective global level. There's got to be a clearing out, okay? There's got to be a clearing out of the old in order for the new to step in and the new to rise up on the planet, okay? So here's what's going on the planet today. There are people who are in full contraction with their business. They're like, who do I let go of? What do I shut down? What do I, do just so that I can, ensure the security of the future? And then there are people who are in full expansion who are going, you know what? There are a lot of new things that are in need. There are a lot of people on the planet that are in need at this point in time. And how does my service, how does my business, and how do I get to evolve, change, and innovate to be that answer to what's going on right now? Because here's the thing when it comes to activating your heart's ability to connect to money, is that the money that you have in your life has nothing to do with you. okay? Money is a flow, all right? It's like a river, okay? You actually never own it. You actually never get to really hold on to it. It's a flow. It moves through your life, just like energy. Guys, you wake up every single day and there is prana, there's energy moving through every single cell of you at an atomic level. And money is exactly the same way, because money is energy and it's flowing through your life. So the money in your life, okay, that is beyond your needs has nothing to do with you, okay? This is when we start to dive into, you know, hello, what is your soul's calling? What is your alignment with money? How are you asking the questions is, how is this money serving the planet? How is this money serving a cause? How is this money serving a purpose? And how am I playing my part in that? Because whether you have second generation money, third generation money, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a philanthropist, whether you're somebody who simply gets to support the people around you who are making money, guess what? You still have a relationship to money. And your intention around money shapes, okay, your ability to participate as a leader in what's happening on the planet today. Are you leading or are you following? Okay, so have you basically subscribed to what everyone else believes around money, what's been working on the planet for hundreds of years, which is, you know, I've just got to make it. I've just got to push for it. I've just got to hustle for it, okay? Or are you deeply soul-centered and you going, well, you know what? Every single dirham, dollar, cent, you know, every single part of money that flows through your life, is it intentionalized for a purpose? And this is the second big limit around money, guys. The first one is about loving money, but the second one is, here's the thing, okay? Are you able to intentionalize money beyond you? Okay, do you sit there and has your money story up until this point in time been that I need money, I need it for this, I need it for this, I need it for this? Where has that I been in this conversation with money, okay? And where have you been in service? Where have you surrendered? Where have you let go? Okay, because here's what happens is, for you to rise in your relationship with money, something has to fall away. And what falls away is the egotism with regards to money. And what is egotism, guys? Egotism isn't greed. It isn't just greed. It's also hiding in your room and not showing up. Okay, if you want money to show up for you, how are you showing up for money? How are you showing up, okay, for that energy that you get to participate in, that gets to flow through your life or your business to all of the people's lives that are going to be impacted by what you do, what you say, how you speak, and how you do your business, how you show up in the world. Okay, awesome. So Anuradha's asked a question here. She goes, how do you reconcile using money to serve others and using money to serve yourself? I love this question, okay? Because so many people have it. They're like, you know what, where's the line? And here's something. Let's go into this, Anuradha. So you are in service, okay? When you truly surrender, when you truly are in that heart-centered space, there is no difference between you and others, which means if you are not living a first-class life, you're probably not showing up with first-class leadership in your life. And what does first-class life mean? It means something different for every single person on the planet, okay? But first-class means that, do you treat your body and get enough sleep so that you can be available and have radical responsibility in the way that you show up in the relationships in your life? And guys, I mean this in your family life, with your lover, with your partner, with your children, with your employees, with your ideas, with your clients. How are you cultivating and nurturing yourself so that you are able to lead and that you are able to have radical responsibility for how you show up in your life? Because if you aren't living a first-class life, you do not have radical responsibility. which means that if you, for one person, it could be, you know, having a first class flight so that they can arrive sound of mind and clear and conscious and able to perform for what it is that they, for the people that they are there to serve. For other people, it's about, you know, having fun, letting loose, not being so serious in life, and knowing that they have the ability to play in their life so that they can feel rejuvenated and show up in their life completely and fully. So give me a yes, Anuradha, if that makes sense to you, okay? So basically your first class lifestyle and the way that you serve yourself and the way that you serve others, there is no difference in that. They belong in the same basket, but most people put those into two different things. Okay, awesome. So here's the third big limit around money, guys, that people usually get blocked around. They are doing something called working for money, okay? And when I say the word work, it means that there's fatigue involved in it. It means that there's an energy of feeling drained. It means that there's an energy of feeling overwhelmed. There's an energy of feeling that you're out of control, that you have no choices. And all of those things basically lead to the same bottom, which is that there's a level of scarcity and there's a level of feeling disempowered. There's an energy of like desperation that, you know, silently sits in hidden ways, okay, under this money story, which is going, well, you know, I can't be different. You know, how am I going to do it? You know, why would it happen for me? You know, how am I going to, you know, make that deal happen? Or how is this that, you know, this is going to work out? Or what's the next job that's going to be available for me? So there's all this fear frequency that starts to operate around money, which basically means that you are pushing your life forward. Okay, so you're not in a state of flow. You're not in a state of grace. You're in a state of push. Okay. And guys, okay, there's some women on the call here. So whether you've birthed a baby or whether you've birthed a business, you know, if you push things into life, okay, it's really exhausting. Okay, you're gonna feel tired. You're gonna feel drained. You're gonna feel like you're confused. You're gonna feel like you have too many options on the table. You're gonna feel like you don't have enough options on the table, because this is what happens. Guys, your frequency is your currency. When it comes to the universe, when it comes to the divine, your energy, your frequency, okay, is your currency with life. It's your currency with miracles. It's the currency with which you create. Okay, that's your resource, guys. And money is just one small component to that. But if you haven't looked at money, if you haven't expanded into money, then there's definitely going to be some layers around that that you're holding back on, in terms of your gifts, in terms of your skills, in terms of your ability to be a creator, in terms of your ability to be centered in your soul, as opposed to be trapped in your mind, okay? So here's the thing, if you're working for money, then what's happening in your life is that you're going to be pushing it forward. And what does that mean? That means you're going to be manufacturing your life, okay? What does manufacture mean? It means that, you know what, in order to make this amount of money, or in order to get this job, or in order to make the, you know, return this quarter, or in order to get this, whatever the story is, you've got to do 1, 2, 3 things, okay? And that's gonna feel, okay, manufactured, because it's gonna be coming from the place of your mind. It's going to be coming from the place of, okay, well, this is the prescription, this is a subscription in order to get to this amount of money. And here's the interesting thing. With the billionaires on the planet, with the millionaires on the planet, with the people who are truly, truly showing up from a soul-centered place, the story is unique for every single one of them, okay? It's not the same. It's not that one person has some magic formula and they're like, this is how I made my millions. Or one person has a magic formula and they're like, this is how this miracle showed up in my life and I signed this deal, or this is how this job came to me. What happened is, and what's the same across all of those people, is the frequency. Is that they were available to opportunities and they were available to life, okay? They were not manufacturing, okay, their success. They were available to success because it was their vibration and their frequency that was elevated, okay? And this is what happens when you start to really dive into your money story and you go, okay, am I in full integrity and in full alignment with how I show up? Am I being available? Am I really listening to myself? Have I really uncovered the 200 gifts inside of me that I can really call upon and know that are available to me because they are flowing through me in order so that I can be just in service to others? Okay, give me a yes if you're feeling this, if you're getting this, if it makes sense to you. You know, I want to know, have you had those moments of miracles in your life where you're like, you know, you made a big deal, or you signed a big contract, or you got the job, or you had this amazing opportunity happen, and how much of you manufactured that? You know, how much did you really control of that situation? You know, did you figure out that the weather had to be a certain way? Did you happen to, you know, plan who you were sitting next to on the plane and you had an amazing conversation? Or were there moments of miracles? Were there moments of grace? Were there moments of synchronicity that just happened to you because you were in a state of expansion? You were in a state of like being available and listening to life. So give me a yes if anyone's ever had that moment of miracle in their life. I want to know if you guys have felt this, if you've like, yes, okay, Coco's like, yes, by surrendering, you've had those moments, awesome, okay, I'm feeling you, I'm feeling that vibe, you know. If we really look at all of the magic that's happened in our life, yeah, Kieran's like, yes, yes, many moments of magic, awesome. Okay, so you guys get this, right? You've done the inner work, you've sat down and you said, you know what? How much of your business have you controlled? You know, how much of it have you truly controlled? How much, you know, did you really sit there and go, okay, the next client that comes into your life or the next big deal is going to have this name and they're going to come from this country and it's going to happen to you at 12 o'clock on Tuesday, you know, because like you knew everything, right? Okay, so guys, life doesn't happen that way, right? All right, there's something much bigger going on and we get to participate, we get to collaborate with that energy, but guess what? We have to do that from our vibration. We have to do that from our frequency. We have to do that by tuning in and not tuning out and going, okay, let me just push my business forward. Let me push life forward. And I get it. I get it that the world is going through a moment of like, oh, what's going on? You know, and you are going to be at a choice point in your business, in your life, in your relationships, and how you show up, and whether you choose to expand or whether you choose to contract down. But here's the thing. You're going to be at a choice point, okay? And it's a daily navigation. It's a daily navigation. It's not like you get this right one time in your life with money and then everything suddenly unfolds, okay? Just like everything else, it's a practice. It's a daily living experience. It's not something that's up in your head, some psychological thing that you tune into. It's like you choose it every single moment. You choose to expand, you choose to surrender, you choose to be available to it, okay? You choose to have an intention that is bigger than yourself, and you say, you know, I am gonna participate in this. I am going to be a leader. I am going to be someone who chooses to rise in this moment and ask the questions. Okay, so Fiona's like, really interesting. Unfortunately, she had a meeting, so she's out. Okay, awesome. So I hope the rest of you guys are getting this and feeling it, and it's a vibe that you can, you know, tap into, because we're going to get into something called synchro-destiny. Okay, so let me know if anyone has, you know, done work around synchronicity, destiny, fate, and, you know, how does that all work with money? What does that mean when it comes to money? Because we're going to be talking on how to intentionally call on something called synchro-destiny. Okay, so the first thing is that there are lots of synchronicities in life, okay? And when you really tune in from the inside out, you're gonna know that everything in your life is a synchronicity. You know, you being able to breathe in right now is a synchronicity because, you know, breath is available to you right now. And there's so many synchronicities that are going on, acknowledged or unacknowledged in your life right now. But what is synchro-destiny and how do we call on that in order to accelerate money results in our life from a deeply, deeply heart-centered space? And here's the thing, guys. You got to go in and understand that your destiny is always linked to others rising, okay? That your higher purpose, your calling, the places of true expansion in your life, the places of joy, the places where in your life where you have felt, you know what, I'm on purpose. I am kicking it, I'm rocking it, I'm on purpose, I am flying, I feel a sense of freedom, I know that I'm living my life in tune with my values, I know that I'm in integrity with how I speak, how I move, how I show up, how I hug my kids, how I, you know, make decisions in my business, because you have decided, okay, to be on purpose in your life. So the thing is that unless you are in purpose and on purpose with money, you're not able to tap into something called synchro-destiny with money. And that means that your money has got to be in full alignment with what you believe, okay, is truly going to contribute to your life and to the lives of those around you, okay? Because when you, and you've got to get clear on this, guys. It's not like, you know, you can, yes, you can feel it. Yes, you can get senses of it. Yes, there are dreams. Yes, there are visions. Yes, there are moments, okay? But unless it is something that you live into every day of your life and make it clear and make it conscious and make it something that is in your intention, okay, that you're nurturing and that you're saying that, yes, okay, that I have this in my life, unless you really know that you're on purpose with your life, well, guess what? You're not actually going to activate your synchro-destiny with money, which means that it's effortless, which means that you got to say to the universe, you know, I'm willing to show up with these gifts in my life. I'm willing to be on purpose. I'm willing to see my purpose in my life and call it out and know what it is and speak it out, not just sit in your room or not just journal about it or not just, you know, have some dream or have it on your vision board, but it's something that you take action on every day in your life. That's how it becomes alive. That's how synchronicities become alive, because you're taking action on it. You're going, you know what, I had this idea and I'm going to reach out to people and I'm going to see, I'm going to learn more about it. So if you're interested in, you know, philanthropy with children, you know, have you surrounded yourself with people who are deeply in that work? If you're interested in, you know, technology that can change the planet and that can provide solutions to resources on the planet today, have you surrounded yourself with people who are already deeply doing that work? And are you saying, I'm here to learn? Because that's being on purpose, guys. That's being intentional. That's seeking it out. And that's doing it from a place where you know that you're not manufacturing it, but you're allowing life to lead you forward from the inside out. Okay, you're listening, you're tuning in, you're opening up an intuitive channel, and every single person on this call right now is intuitive, okay? You wouldn't be called to this talk if you weren't. Because intuitive means that you've opened up the inner teacher. You've opened up that inner connection to the divine, showing you yourself and who you are, and you get to play and revel in that. Okay, so Nicole is like, how do you see your purpose? Okay, so here's the thing. All right, guys, if you don't know what your purpose is, the first thing to do is to actually set aside time, okay, to dive into that. All right, here's the thing. To get to know somebody in your life, what do? You make time for them, right? You get to know them. You ask questions, okay? You're present with them. When you want to have intimacy with yourself, intimacy with your purpose, the question is, how much time have you cleared and invested, okay, in understanding your divine purpose? How much time have you decided and set aside to say, what in me magnetizes people to me, okay, and creates a shift in their life? What is that gift in me, and how do I accelerate that gift? And how do I bring it to the surface? How do I nurture it? Okay, so Christina is saying, I have a wonderful experience with money, synchronicity regularly, mostly every day, but I'm struggling with money. And that's super common, guys, okay? Most people have tons of synchronicity, but not with money. Because what they're doing is they're kind of having that in two different baskets. So Christina, we kind of touched on that, so let me know if that makes sense to you, okay? So unless you've put the spiritual and money into one basket and you've said, okay, hey, intuition, hey, inner divine, hey, you know, the higher self in me, show me the way. You know, show me what my destiny is around money. Show me how to hold more purpose in my life so that I can be available to abundance, so that I can live a first-class life, and so that I can serve at a higher level. Because this is what happens with your purpose, okay? As you start to dig into your purpose, there are more levels and layers of purpose that open up to you, the more willingness you have to serve in life, okay? So it's not like there's one destiny and it's stuck in a moment of time and you're kind of like gravitating towards it, okay? The moment you open this up, guys, there's more levels and layers that start to open up as you start to show up and live in that, and you tell the universe, I'm showing up, I'm here, I'm living it, I'm breathing it, I'm talking to it, I'm taking aligned action onto it, okay? Awesome. So let me know if there's any more questions around synchro-destiny before we start to talk about the law of nature, because we are going to start to look at how does your money flow align with nature. Because people kind of, you know, money is like cotton, guys, right? It literally comes from nature, all right? And everything in this world has a natural essence. It has a natural vibe. And the vibe of money, okay, is creative flow. And when you truly step into your creative flow in your life, which means that you are not just the CEO of your life, you're not just in that intentionalized action in your life, you're actually a creator. That means that you are so valuable to life, okay, that you deeply serve at such a heart-centered level, okay, that nature responds to you, okay, that the laws of the universe actually start to play with you. It's something that we call bending the laws of nature, okay? And we've all bent the law of time. We bend time because when you're in that space of joy, in that space of celebration, hours feels like minutes, okay? When you're in that moment of like deep joy with something that you're doing, it feels effortless. It feels like it hasn't even touched you at a physical level, that you could go on for ages. You can play, you can expand, you can laugh. Because this is what happens when we raise our frequency with money and we start showing up in our money relationship with that same expansion of joy and that same expansion of creative flow, because we start to do something which is we call upon the laws of the universe to play with us. And the law of nature and aligning your money to the law of nature goes like this. Okay, so here's the big takeaway from today, okay, is guys, whether you've acknowledged it or not, you're part of nature. You're not some separate, isolated force in life that's doing your own little thing and playing out your little life, okay? You're actually part of a huge divine purpose, a huge collective flow that's happening on the planet. And the more that you acknowledge that, and the more that it's not just psychological, but it's your lived experience, and you have that joy vibrating inside of you on a day-to-day basis because you're like, I'm a part of life. Life doesn't just happen to you, it flows through you. Okay, so there's the first difference, is that life isn't happening at you. Life is happening through you. The answers to the planet happen through you. The answers to the people around you happen through you being able to access what's called your divine nature, your abundant self. And if you want to align your money flow to the law of nature, the first thing is that you've got to be rich. Nature is rich, guys. Okay, Mother Nature, nature, the natural universe, it's rich, it's abundant, and you're a part of that. That means that when you open up to acknowledging that, you understand that you have the ability to be a channel, an instrument of nature in life. Okay, you get to be the answer to other people in your life, and you can do that from a place, okay, where it feels natural, where it feels that you get to be your natural self, and it is an answer to what others need, okay? So the first thing is acknowledging that you're a part of nature. The second thing to align your money to the law of nature is to do the following. Is that every relationship that you have in your life, if you're walking into that relationship, and that means a business meeting, that means a conversation with your employee, that means a conversation with your boss, that means a conversation with, a new client, that means a conversation with whoever it is, because we are in constant conversations in our life, even if it is with the conversation with yourself. If you're walking into that conversation, even with yourself, and you're coming from a place, okay, where you're empty, where you're poor, where you're scarce, you have nothing to give, okay? You're gonna be coming from a place of needing. You're gonna be coming from a place of feeling deprived. You're gonna be coming from a place where you're not able to offer yourself as a gift. And the moment you start to reverse that and flip it, okay, and actually come from a space of being rich, being abundant, okay, feeling joyful, feeling expansive with a super, super high vibe, okay, you call on the law of nature, all right? You then start to activate at a physical quantum level every single thing around you to respond to your vibration. Because the way to tap into the richness inside of yourself is to acknowledge that you have the universe flowing through you every single moment. Absolutely every single moment, and the universe is abundant, which means that when you acknowledge your union with it, you are abundant, you are rich, you have gifts. And when you can start to acknowledge them and bring them to the surface in the moment, okay, and sustain them and hold that throughout your day, okay, you're gonna start to be able to arrive into every conversation abundant, rich, and flowing, which means that you're available to opportunities, which means that people see the light in you, which means that you get to be the light, okay, that lights up others to show that they can make choices to also be the light. So give me a yes if you're feeling this. Give me a yes if you had those moments where you've dropped away, and you dropped away out of all of those stories that you were telling yourself, and you were like, you know what? I'm simply just going to show up. I'm just going to give. I'm going to give of myself. I'm going to be a gift. Okay, because you are a gift. And unless you acknowledge that, okay, Minu's like, yes, okay, you are a gift. Coralie, yes, I deeply feel the connection. Geeta is like, yes, she definitely feels it too. So amazing, you guys have had these moments of miracles in your life. So, that's where we get to truly, truly, truly open up the creative flow and be rich from the inside out, okay? And money will respond to that, because money is also energy, and it's going to respond to your universal currency, which is your inner nature, your inner vibe, okay? And this is daily work, guys. This is something that you get to choose every moment of your life. It's something that you nurture with your practices. Okay, so we're gonna open up to some questions, Kieran. We're going to see, what people want to say, want to share, and we have some time together to really open up some new levels and layers with people. So let's open up the floor.
All right. So as I've said before, if anyone is shy to share a personal question, feel free to share it to me privately, and I will ask anonymously, like I'm going to do this first one. So somebody has asked, how do you not make work feel like work if it is work? In terms of how do you, make that energy flow and the money flow if you are working for somebody else, so you're in that kind of, you need to work. How do you create that flow?
Okay, awesome. That's a great question, right? Because everyone's like, okay, I've got to get up and I've got to go to work and I've got to, pay the bills, and I've got to okay, so here's the thing, guys. Whether you're employed in a company or whether you're an owner of a company, there's something that is called radical responsibility, all right? And this isn't something that you can just sort of, write in your journal and then you have a moment of inspiration and then you go off and you live your life, right? We're talking about something called radical responsibility with your actions. And that means, do the actions in your life, are you doing them, okay, from a place of feeling obligated, okay, of feeling that you're trapped, of feeling that you have to do this, okay? And there may be a moment in your life where that is the case, but the moment you bring awareness to that is what is happening to you, you have a choice that you get to make. And that choice is, are you going to continue to make that choice? Are you going to continue to stay, okay, in that place where you're going to keep going to that job, okay, and you're just going to keep paying the bills, and you're not going to ask the questions as, how do I align my integrity, okay, my values, okay, with the company that I work with, okay, or the job that I do? And here's the thing, guys, it's that when you start asking the questions, that's when the opportunities start flowing into your life, because you haven't yet asked them. You've kind of just gone, okay, well, this is basically what I've been offered, so I'm going to say yes to it. And when you say yes to something, that means you're filling your space. It's occupied. Your time is occupied with that job. And until you say, I'm willing to say no to something in order to create space for something new, that's what radical responsibility is all about. And this can happen at the level of your physical body. What are you going to stop putting into your body so that you stop feeling lethargic, tired, drained, unavailable to even do the inner work, unavailable to even make time for yourself? Or what's the radical responsibility that you're going to take with regards to, who belongs in your space? Like, who are you going to continue to have a conversation with in your life? Or it could be around your job, okay? It could be and say, you know what? I'm going to take radical responsibility. And I'm actually going to say that, okay, this is currently what's happening to me, but I'm no longer going to choose this. And that could, you can give yourself a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. But here's the thing, guys, you're playing with the universe. You're no longer playing with the market, okay, with your country dynamics, with the economy, okay, because the divine flow is far greater than any of those things. And what you're used to doing is going, okay, you make your money based on what the economy is telling you is possible or not, okay? I have a background in, economics. I have a background, I'm an MBA in finance. I get this, I know it, I deeply feel it. I understand all the economic models. I understand the PE valuations. I understand, the way that the bankers will come and tell you, well, this is what's possible and this is what's not. And here's the thing is you get to choose. Okay, you get to choose, well, I'm going to take radical responsibility and I'm actually going to ignite different possibilities in my life. And that starts with saying no, okay, to what's no longer in integrity for you, and start to clear space so that you can start to listen to what is in integrity with you. But until you kind of make that choice and create that time, that's when the shift starts to happen. Okay, what else do we have?
We have a couple on affirmations. Should one affirm every single day, money comes easily to me? Will that help bring more money in our lives?
Okay, so Minu, I can see that question. All right, so here's the thing, guys. Affirmations are a starting point before you go deeper. But here's the thing. Do you sit and say that the sun's going to rise every single day? Do you go, the sun's going to rise, the sun's going to rise, the sun's going to rise, the sky's blue, like the sky's going to be there tomorrow, okay? Because here's the thing, all right? There's something at a much deeper level that needs to shift in your life in order for you to truly see results. Because here's the difference, guys. People do work for a long time. They meditate for a long time. They do affirmations for a long time. And I'm going to ask you the question, is it working for you? Is it working? Are you seeing results in your life? Are you seeing more money flow to you? Are you seeing it happen for you more easily? If it is, go for it. That means that it works for you. It's aligned for you. It's alive for you. It's vibrant for you. But if it's just something that you do because it's a ritual, but you're checked out when you do the ritual and you're just going, oh, the sky is blue or the sun's going to shine tomorrow, then you're not really, okay, taking responsibility for change. Because here's the thing. The moment you make this change in your life, guys, results flow. If the results aren't happening in your life, if things aren't getting lighter with money, if things aren't getting easier with money, if things aren't getting more joyful with money, if money isn't growing in your life, if you've been stagnant at a frequency band where you're capped at making, $100,000 a year or $1 million a year, or sometimes even hundreds of millions of dollars a year, if you're capped at that frequency, it means that something's got to shift in your life for you to be available, okay? For you to be available to expand. It means that you've got to really get intimate with the work that needs to happen. There's something that you're holding on to, some shift that requires to happen in order for that money to start to flow, right? Because money is a flow. It's like an energy. It's being poured into you and there's something blocking it, okay? So if affirmations are working and you are actually seeing results, go for it, okay? And if not, then it's empty. It's just like saying the sun's going to rise tomorrow. And if it's not moving it in your life, then drop it and ask new questions.
Okay. We have another question on affirmations. What affirmations can one say to open up to nature, surrender, and make yourself available to nature to attract the natural flow of money with ease rather than struggle, especially if one has had money blockages for years?
Okay. All right. So when you guys be gentle with yourself, right? So nature is nature is fierce, but it's also super gentle. And what happens with tapping into the law of nature, what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to invite you to find a money ritual around nature. And what that means is to actually take some moment of your day and to place yourself within nature. And guys, you could have a plant which is in your office. You can simply go and put your feet in the sand. You can go outside and, tap into nature and ask yourself the question, who would I be, okay, if I allowed myself to be carried by nature, okay? Who would I be? And you're going to, when you really invite that ritual in your life, that question, okay, you're going to get an answer which is really going to be your own unique affirmation. All right. It's going to be something that you call out from inside. Okay. Because affirmations, which are just kind of like someone told you to say this, don't really work unless they're kind of alchemy for you, which means they've got to be your own words. They've got to be something that touches your heart. It's got to be something that you have invoked from the inside out, because there's a feeling, there's a touch point inside of you that's been activated by nature. So I invite you to go out into nature and create a ritual every day, where it could be with your plants or the earth, and invite yourself to say, who would I be if I was allowed to be carried by nature? Okay, and you'll get an answer, and that becomes then your affirmation that you get to integrate into your life until it becomes a natural part of who you are.
Awesome. So we have another one asking for clarity on how to figure out your higher purpose.
Okay, so, the word clarity itself, okay, we're going to address clarity. So any of you that are looking for clarity in a decision that you need to make right now in your life with regards to money, okay, I invite you to first clear space. Okay, clarity comes when you have space. All right. If you're asking yourself this question, and I want you to be honest, right? If the kids are going on in the background, or you've got the TV blaring in front of you, or you're at work and you're overwhelmed, and that's the time that you ask this question, well, here's the thing, is that you're not really going to get a very clear answer, because there isn't space. Clarity in itself means space. Okay, it means that there's an emptiness in you. So whatever it is that you do, because each one of you have practices that are on this call, each one of you have had moments where you've emptied out. Okay, so whether you decide whatever your process is to get to that time in your day where you create space by emptying out, okay, your current life, what you're currently subscribing to in your life, and you have that moment in your life, that's when you ask the question, okay? That's when you start to ask, well, what is my purpose? Who am I? And the kind of like thread that you want to go into finding your purpose is by activating your gifts in your life, by asking yourself and recognizing the gift in you. And that could be just like journaling it and writing down all the gifts inside of you. And the way that you write the gifts down is based on when you have noticed that other people have been attracted or magnetized to you based on this gift. So if you're full of humor and you know that, when you expand and you're joyful and you laugh, other people laugh, that's a gift. Humor is your gift. Okay, so you've got to write down all of those gifts, and you've got to be super clear about what do you have to offer. Because remember, right, being in service comes from when you're rich inside. It comes when you're abundant, when you have something to offer the world, when you acknowledge that nature has gifted you gifts, and you start to call them out and bring them to the surface and activate them in your life.
All right, we have another question on the question went up. What is your thoughts on spending money that I may or may not be earning as quickly as I can spend it? Do you believe in when you spend it, you'll live that life and hence attract more of it?
Okay, that's a really, really good question, guys. Okay, and I go deep into answering all of these questions, and in a course that I do around money and how to spend it, how to invest it, how to multiply your income, how to attract more opportunities into your life, and how to attract soul-aligned relationships. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But to answer that question, when you're looking at your money in your life, every single dirham, dollar, or money that you spend, it's about whether you're aligning that to the energy of it being an investment. Okay? So there should be no expenses in your life. Zero. Absolutely none. Okay? So we're just gonna kind of like take that financial accounting model and we're just gonna like burn it. Okay? Because it really makes no sense. Okay? Not when you really start to dive into this. And the question is that everything in your life is an investment, guys. If you're buying food, it's an investment for your energy, for your vitality, for your body. So the answer to that question is yes. I believe it comes back to you multiplied, to you and to others multiplied, when you are truly in the frequency that it is an investment in your life. If it's an expense and you know that it's an expense and you kind of, then it's like worry comes up, then you're like, oh my gosh, am I splashing out? But if you align all of the money that you spend, every single thing that you spend as an investment in your life, yes, just energetically, you're putting out the intention that it will come back to you multiplied, and you're aware of how that will get activated in you, okay, to rise up, to have more vitality, to have more energy, to have more glow, to have more, fabulousness in your life. If it's like you're, investing in a set of new clothes, and you're like, yes, this is so aligned, this is an investment, this is something for me to shine. Absolutely.
All right, we have one more question from Anu. We need to show up to life, but still create space and empty out. How do we balance the two? Creating too much space may take away from showing up and taking action. Not
Okay.
sure if that makes sense.
All right. So this is a really, really important question, guys, because there are a lot of people that get active on the spiritual path and they start to kind of ignore life. Okay. So what that means is that, some of you have kids, some of you have a family, some of you, have certain investments that you've made in your life, and that could be business that serves hundreds of thousands of people. You could, have made other types of commitments in your life to people. Maybe you have parents you care for. Maybe, you're supporting other family members, right? So these are all real questions. Okay. And what happens is that when you get active on the spiritual path, a lot of people tend to kind of avoid, okay, their responsibilities or the commitments that they've made in their life by sort of, over diving into the spiritual work. And that really becomes something which is called a distraction. Okay. So here's the thing, is that you've got to tap into your heart and say that, okay, do I say no to this commitment or no to this responsibility because it isn't aligned with the integrity in my life? Or am I saying no to it because I'm scared? Okay, because I'm scared to show up, because I'm scared to actually, go deeper in this relationship. I'm scared to actually be available to this person as a whole new kind of being. As you start to shift and change, you're going to show up as a whole new kind of human being with your children, with your parents, with the people around you. So yes, it is balance, but it's all about authenticity. Okay. So the right balance for you is something where you're authentic, and that creating space is not so that you can actually get distracted and not show up in your life. Okay. So this is not about giving you like an excuse card to say like, okay, don't be responsible. It's actually the opposite. It's actually to say, okay, how can you be radically responsible and show up?